Yeah.
What was it? Sweden was second.
Sweden was
Sweden actually plays hockey. Sweden would have been perfect for this. This is what they do. Like, I'm so pissed that we are literally like everybody is so excited that we finally get Olympic hockey, again.
NHLers and
we get to see all the pageantry of professional hockey on the Olympic stage, and it's in a place where they don't play hockey. The arena's not ready. The locker rooms aren't ready. They have no idea how to accommodate fans. This is going to be the worst experience ever for hockey on an Olympic stage. It is so ridiculously bad.
And to sublet what Brandon said about how no one wants the Olympics, this is very true. Nobody's bidding for it anymore. Same with the World Cup. Because it's too much of a security hassle. It's like insane. You don't really get a lot of tax breaks as a country from it. And third of all, for some reason let's put it in these places where the arenas aren't built, which I never understand.
I can't, oh my God. It's like, and the worst part is too, even when they somehow, some way are going to have to find a way to finish this arena and finish the construction process.
The first games are on February 8th. It's June 8th. It's a month away.
January, not June.
Or whatever.
But
damn it.
Damn it! You know what? I wish they would have pushed off hockey till June 8th. I would give them plenty of time to figure this crap out. But God, it really makes me angry because I love hockey, and to me, everybody knows that hockey is pretty much like the best playoffs of them all. Maybe next to football, but it rivals football in terms of how good the NHL playoffs is. But
international hockey is way better.
And international hockey is so, and that's what I was going to. International hockey in general is such a good sport. This was supposed to bring so many eyes onto hockey, and it's quite literally and I love this. Nicole saying this. We just had the Four Nations face off last year, and that was such a success. And now we're gonna just crap all over hockey because we're putting it in a place where hockey can't survive. And then the worst, and then here's the thing too, we're talking about the dimensions for the rink in the arena. You're basically putting these guys who are pro hockey players in a rink that is worse than what the former Coyotes had when they played at a high school gym, pretty much. And you're saying, hey, go play the Olympics on this crap.
Okay, and it gets worse because CBC Sports, obviously Canada. There's more reports over the last few days, so I've only seen a little bit of it. But once I saw this, I was like, I don't even have to read any other reports. This is great. I think it was one of the leads or something that's leading this construction. He said it has to get done, so it will get done. And this is what CBC wrote here. CBC wrote, given the still raw state of the place, rink dimensions and ice quality seem like small worries. Small worries.
It's not small.
A test event will be scheduled from the 9th to the 11th. On Saturday, this past Saturday, it wasn't clear how players, never mind crowds, would find their way inside. And they're saying the rink dimensions are small worries.
It was a problem. That was a problem when the Coyotes were having to play at a college ice rink, and we already had issues with trying to get fans in there and whatnot, and the dimensions being weird, and people are already complaining about that. This is on a global scale now. There's so many eyes on this. This is going to be a tragedy that they're playing this where they are. I can't. Oh my God! Why can't hockey just get the proper due it deserves? And listen, I get that people don't want to touch it, but at some point too, when it comes to ice related sports at the Olympics. Please make sure you have the correct dimension. First of all, correct dimension. But second of all, I don't care if you have to split the Olympics into like, okay, we're gonna have all these games here in Italy, and we're gonna put like hockey, whatever, or the ice sports in like the Icelandic countries, like the Nordic Icelandic countries, because it makes sense to put them there. They play the damn sport.
You know what's actually funny about that? For the LA Olympics, they're putting like rowing and canoeing and all that stuff in Oklahoma City, where they actually have the infrastructure to do it.
Yes, like this is what I'm like. You're putting hockey in Italy, where the only sport they play for the most part is maybe basketball and soccer. Those are the two. They play two sports, and that's about it.
I could not name you 3 Italian hockey players, and I'm Italian.
Oh, and by the way, I will say, did anybody at whoever, because European, let's just say European in general, right? They don't like their local area being messed with, especially next to their house. Why are they building a hockey rink next to a freaking residential area? What is going on?
No part of this on any level makes a lick of sense. And
it does not feel planned out or thought out in any serious manner.
Because it wasn't. Like man. Like such an epic failure.
Keith Brugman says if NASCAR became an Olympic sport, where would they hold it? Probably Antarctica.
It would be Florida, but yes.
Oh my God.
Okay. All right, Scoop. Now that I gave you all of that information and you saw us doing all of this craziness, what is your reaction to it as a hockey fan? As by the way, we're gonna have some Flyers players playing in the Olympics as well.
Yeah, I know. Sanheim is one of the guys we're gonna see up there, and I think there's at least 1 or 2 more. But I just I kind of don't even really know what to say, because it's just, I mean, what you guys just said kind of speaks for itself. I don't know how that can kind of be when I heard, because Rob called me in a heater like 3 or 4 hours ago, and he was like, okay, I got to explain this to you, because I told him, I was like, can you catch me up on this stuff? I can't fathom how they actually unironically told people, we don't know how the players are going to be able to, do this or
how are they going to walk into the arena?
Yeah. And I'm like, were they just supposed to wear flippers and just kind of wade into a bunch of cold water? Like, what were you actually in? Like, what was the vision there? Because it sounds like they either did not start early enough, or something went awry during the process to which they are not admitting. I do not know.
I'm sorry, Scoop. You know what makes this even more amazing? The NHL and the Players Association are just like, whatever, we'll do it anyway.
Well, that's another element to this, is that the way you guys described it, it makes it seem like they feel like they're so unbothered and so nonchalant. And I'm just like, you have about a month. If
I
that.
cannot.
Well,
I really cannot.
The thing that sucks about the whole thing is that the NHL was like, if this is as bad as it actually is, we're not going. And then 3 weeks later, they announced the rosters, and they're like, we're going anyway.
I legitimately can't wait to see. I mean, God, Jack Hughes get hurt on a small ass rink and fly to the boards because this whole thing is made out of like a 5-year-old sandbox. Like, I can't do this, man.
I can't wait for the players to get hit on the boards and fly into the crowd.
Because remember how arena football used to be, where you could tackle somebody and they go over the boards into the crowd? That's exactly what this is going to be. Someone's going to get checked in the glass.
To give her a shout out, I mean, Nicole's always telling me how hockey players are the best athletes and how hockey players are the toughest. I think we're about to find out. I think we're about to see that tested. We're about to see that tested for ourselves.
I can't wait to cover Olympic hockey, because we're literally going to blow a gasket every time we talk about a game. It's going to look so bad.
I'm going to be bewildered at what I'm watching, because the rink is not regulation size. It's like I'm watching Pee Wee hockey among grown men.
Oh God, it's too good.
Ay, freaking yay.
So yeah, there's your Olympic hockey preview.
Could you
It'd be
imagine? Could
crappy.
you imagine a bunch of Italians because it's in the middle of a residential area walking into the arena and being like, "What is this sport?
What is this?
What is this?"
Wait, but you know what pisses me off? There has to be somewhere like a professional Italian league. You tell me they don't play on regulation ice?
I mean, I guess. How many people are realistically, if there was a professional league, that like in Italy,
there has to be.
It would only be 2 teams in it because that's all they can find to play. And it would just be them playing nonstop against each other. Like,
wait, I'm gonna search this up. There has to be an Italy hockey league, dude.
Oh my!
There has to be one. It is. It's called Serie A. Yeah, there's an Italian hockey league.
No, there's not.
Yes, there is.
No.
And it was founded 101 years.
It began playing in 1925. I've never heard of it.
I'll say this for the hockey game that I play that has like all the world leagues. I couldn't remember for the life of me if Italy had one.
Oh my God! And Serie B has 12 teams in it. They actually do play hockey in Italy. Yeah, but there's no but so you can't figure out how to make a regulation sized rink. Really? Like
there has to be regulation sized rinks somewhere in the country. Just put it there.
Well, remember, European leagues, their rink size is different.
Oh. So it's smaller than that?
I don't know if it's smaller, but I know in European leagues, I remember like this, them talking about this, is that like the North American game is a lot different because it's like there's one, general regulation size, but Europe has like, well, I think it depends on where you are in Europe, but they've got like some rinks are just different. They just play on different size rinks. So like some of them are longer, some of them are short, some of them are wider. It all kind of depends. So I don't know, but that's ridiculous. I didn't even think that hockey existed in Italy, and then apparently it does. But
and they have promotion and relegation like soccer.
Oh my God! I don't know, man. Then and so they couldn't consult anyone that's running the league. How do we do this? Like really? Is that what we're doing here?
All right, Scoop, get us back into NFL stuff here.
Yeah. So, anyway, and we'll just kind of quickly throw this on as an aside. Dallas, because I know that there's a couple Dallas fans watching. Dallas has requested permission to speak to 3 people for the defensive coordinator position. It's Minnesota defensive pass game coordinator Durante Jones, Denver assistant head coach and pass game coordinator Jim Leonard, and Browns safeties coach Banda.
Ephraim Banda,
Ephraim Banda for their defensive coordinator vacancy. So now getting back to the head coaches from this past week, we kind of went a little bit off the rail, not a little bit, but we
I almost died.
I was very concerned by what I was watching over there. I was very concerned by what I was watching over there. And considering some of the segments you've had to mediate on the FAH, that was a new level.
Oh my God!
But so I'll go back to this. The coaching, we already covered Atlanta, but I'll kind of do this because I rather than go through the next 7, because I know that people are probably going to want to go at some point and watch the NCAA games or the CFP games, I guess. General thoughts on the rest of the, is there any job in particular that you think is a good job or a bad job? Was there any coach in particular you're shocked that got fired? I mean, I know we're all shocked about Harbaugh. I'm
actually not.
I'm not. I'll put it this way: shocked wasn't the right word. I know it catches our attention probably among the most. It's probably the best way I can put it.
I realized something from scrolling on Instagram. I have this very, I have this thought, and tell me if I'm wrong and whatever.
Okay.
I think that the Raiders must, and I mean must, in all caps, get Harbaugh. Because if they don't, let's put it this way, if he's the coach of the Raiders, number 1 overall pick, he gets to pick whatever quarterback he wants. If he wants to take a quarterback, this class sucks, but if he does, you have Brock Bowers, you have Gent, who's had a great rookie year, even though his offensive line was terrible. And
that's usually a calling card for John Harbaugh is the trenches.
And I think this is the most important thing of all. If Harbaugh goes to the Raiders, do you guys not think, or I guess think, that he will not have a sit down with Max Crosby and say, hey, what are your concerns? How can we quell this? How can we make this team good for you so we don't trade you? That'd be one of
the first things I would do.
Yeah. Exactly. So I think Harbaugh is the only guy that can convince him of a layout. I think any other opportunity out there for the Raiders, anybody else, Crosby's gone. I think the only guy that will be able to quell it is Harbaugh.
I'll add this. I completely agree with you that they should at least, make the push for that. I will say, I think there are 2 other guys in their interview process, I think, who at least have a chance at being able to pull that off. One, Minnesota's Brian Flores, especially because he's got head coach experience and good head coach experience. If you're looking at somebody from the offensive side, I do think Kevin Stefanski can pull that off as well.
Yeah, that's fair. Brandon, what say you?
To me, when I look across all these different teams, I mean the obvious pick for the ones like the sexy choice is Baltimore because of Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, and they got they got veterans on the defensive side of the ball too. So and a good secondary, a good young secondary for the most part. So it's just injuries with them that kind of hurt them a lot. But
Brandon, I'm sorry to interrupt, but Davis Webb, head coach of the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, that he got interviewed today, so I'm just thinking about it.
I don't like that.
I'll throw the names out that I know have either been interviewed or are going to be interviewed as far as the Ravens are concerned. The names that I know that are scheduled are Broncos defensive coordinator Vance Joseph. Again, we just talked about Davis Webb. I know they're scheduled with Matt Nagy from Kansas City, and they have 4 requests out. Anthony Weaver from Miami, Clint Kubiak from Seattle, Rob Saleh from San Francisco, and honestly, I very much believe this is the direction I might go. I think I would really seriously explore getting Cliff Kingsbury in there.
Why? Him and Lamar? Actually, no. You know what?
I mean, Lamar's got a similar skill set. Jaden Daniels.
It took me a second. Yeah, no, I think you're right. You know what? If I'm Baltimore, I think my favorite one is Saleh. Because I just want that. That's about defense, right?
It's really not the offense problem. Like Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry will figure it out. It's more so like, well, first of all, they gotta give Lamar a legit wide receiver 1 because they don't have it. Because Zay Flowers can't hold on to a football to save his life. So that's a big problem. But I think Mark Andrews is going to be their tight end next year.
Yep.
Likely they're still going to be there.
So that's okay. That'll work.
At least I think likely got re-signed. I think anyway.
But their biggest problem all year, we knew it was defense. So whoever that comes in there, it's got to be more defensive minded. I'm not saying it has to be like a total defensive mastermind, but it's got to be more defensive minded.
I will say, if you're talking about the Ravens in particular, if it's not going to be Kingsbury, I do agree that both ways. I think that in terms of best fit for the Ravens and the best fit for this person as a coaching candidate, I do think Robert Szolosi, I do think
it would make sense.
I think that makes a lot of sense. But and in a similar vein though, because they're also, I think they have actually a lot of similarities there in their sort of background and archetype. I think Brian Flores also.
I think Saleh is the better pick just because Saleh has gotten the most out of both his bad teams when he was with the Jets. Like those defenses were really good.
Yep.
And then of course now with the Niners they're injured, but they still make plays. So,
but I mean, at times, I mean Minnesota at times this year they had some sort of. You were getting some flashbacks of the Purple People Eaters, the way their defense was playing at some time.
Yeah, early on. But that's the problem. That's been one of the calling cards of Brian Flores is his teams and his defenses usually look good early on, and then by week 8 it's over.
Yeah, because the 4-4 set that he runs is like
it gets figured out.
It gets figured out.
And actually, shout out to him. I think if I remember correctly, I think our buddy Coach Shane Hansen, I think he put something together on FAH a few weeks ago about that.
Yeah, from the 4-4 stuff. It's funny. I learned from Shane because I do run some 4-4 in Madden. Matt Eberflus getting hired again.
Yeah. So Nicole asked, "Do you think Eberflus will get hired again?" I'll say this: a lot of times we see coaches who have failed at the head coach level have to take a couple, one or more coordinator positions before they get a chance to go back as head coach. I think that similarly, I think Eberflus, if he wants to keep coaching, he might have to either take a collegiate job or he might have to take a position coach job. I think that that's really his path forward. If he wants to, in the near future, be brought in as a coach at the NFL level, I think he's going to be looking at either or not either. I think if he wants to stay at the NFL level and doesn't want to accept a coaching job at the either collegiate or lower and something of that nature, I think a linebacker coach is going to be, because that's kind of where he made his name, both in Dallas, but also going back to his time in Cleveland. I think that's going to be what he's looking at. He also was going back to the late 90s. He was the coach at Toledo for the linebackers. So I think if you're him and you're wanting to keep your thing going, I think that going back to positional, presumably linebacker coaching, is probably what you have to do if you're willing to do that. Otherwise, I would probably look for him to, if he stays coaching, probably would not be at the NFL level, probably be looking at NCAA.
Yes.
Yeah. It's so bad.
We're not there when we had our meltdown on Matt Eberflus. What was it, for Thanksgiving that one year?
Yeah.
2 years ago?
Oh my God. Yeah. No, we hate him, dude.
That was in the past, like in past season.
Oh yeah, dude. We hate Matt Eberflus.
We had a massive. That, put it this way, that was like a 2 or 3 hour show that just me and Rob did, and we were watching the end of the Bears game against it. It was against was it the Lions or Dallas?
No, it was the Lions. We did it. That was our first Black Friday show. We did it the next day, and we were having a meltdown on the phone during it, and then obviously that was our main lead in for the Black Friday show. I
remember the meltdown on the phone during it, and then the show after. Yeah, like I was like, oh my.
I will.
Whole segment. It was a Matt Eberflus rant. It was like a Bears rant.
We did like I think the whole thing was like an hour and a half just on Matt Eberflus. Like we were.
Oh my God!
Like because.
So he was the OG Kevin Patullo.
The more, but the more we dug into how bad his coaching decisions were, the more we just found more stuff to crap on him on.
So, and it was even worse this year, I thought, to be honest.
And you know what's crazy to me? Go back 4 or so years. Most teams and or at least most media people, obviously we don't know behind closed doors, but most people that we saw, whether it was whatever network it was on, and because obviously we don't see the team's specific lists, most people had him at or near the top of head coaching candidates.
Yeah, which I never quite got. Honestly.
While he was still the head coach while he was still the defensive coordinator of the Indianapolis Colts, I think it was.
Yeah.
And it's just wild to me to think about that, because I mean, how many times have we seen that in the last few years? Eric Bieniemy when he was with Kansas City, what's his name? Joe Brady when he was with the Panthers. Arthur Smith when he was with the Titans? How many Adam Gase when he was with the Broncos? How many times has this can't miss coordinator head coordinator who's a can't miss head coaching candidate? How many times have they just absolutely plopped? And it's just like it's crazy, and it's crazy when you think of how ubiquitous they were looked at as. I mean, even Josh McDaniels at one point. It's crazy how they were looked at as a ubiquitous favorite to get a head coaching job, and then they just poof.
Yeah, because they're not good. Yeah. But yeah, no, Scoop. I sent you the rant because we still have access to all the shows on Spotify.
Yeah, you have. I can't remember how to.
Yeah, no, it's on Spotify still. So there it is.
Goodness.
All right, yeah, I just got it. So to which one of y'all did I go to start that question about the head coaching stuff this week? Was it?
It was me. Go to Brandon. Go to Brandon.
Okay, so Brandon, I'll ask kind of just this. Aside from the Falcons, because we already talked about that, but we can even include the Titans and the Giants. Is there a match in particular that just it makes too much sense for you not to see it not happen? Or is there a job that you think you don't understand why this person became available?
I think the one that, well, this is one because when I'm thinking I like who became available, the one that did kind of surprise me. Just, I mean, I kind of get it. I kind of get why they moved on from him, but I, at the same time, I also just found it weird because all signs are pointing to him staying with Mike McDaniel. But
yeah,
I'm thinking about right now that any team that would want him is, to me, I think the best fit for him. Obviously, I don't think it's gonna be as a head coach. I think it's gonna be as an OC, and I think that in that regard, I mean, if you gave him. I mean, I know the Lions said they want him. That makes a lot of sense, given but how many
for OC, yeah.
It just makes a ton of sense just with how much they have there. Goff, Gibbs, Montgomery, all the receivers they have, Amon-Ra. It just makes too much sense. But I think in terms of head coaches, I think the one thing or one guy that I still keep coming back to because it's just I don't know where he's going to go, but I know I believe in him more than most people do, and especially more than the people in his own former team do. It's just I said this before. It's Kevin Stefanski. I love. I mean, he's a 2-time Coach of the Year. He brought a bad Browns team to the playoffs.
I'm about to go off about this when you finish.
Like I'm still gonna stick by this, and listen, if it blows up in my face, I'll be wrong for how bad of a take it could end up being. But at the same time, I can't see how someone like that is gonna won't be able to turn a team around no matter where he goes, if it's a bad team, or just if he goes to a really good place. I mean, I can listen. Everybody talk about those whole the swap between on him. Hey, one's gonna go to the Browns, one's gonna go to the Ravens. I mean, I don't think so. But
I don't think so either. But that would be funny as hell.
But it would be funny, and it's not. It's not.
Unfortunately, I do think one of those two ends up in New York. Unfortunately,
I will very quickly say for Harbaugh and for Stefanski, it was very clear that they just lost their locker room. And they lost that was the main reason why they just lost the locker room. And at the end of the day, if your coach loses the locker room, you have to get rid of him. There's no other choice.
Yeah,
but I'll put it this way, okay? I get the whole losing your locker room thing on the I get that being the impetus to make a change because, again, we've seen it with guys like Andy Reid. We've seen it with guys. I think, we just when it comes to a point of 10 plus years, we've seen it in other sports. Sometimes when it's been that long, sometimes you need a change. Sometimes the message just runs stale, whatever the case may be. Stefanski was in there for 5 or 6 years, and the roster was at an absolute valley. Yeah, the roster was not in a good place. If that was an issue, in my vantage point, you move off some of the players that have an issue. You don't move off. Because Kevin Stefanski had, first of all, before I get into this, Brandon, do you have any more to say before I get into this?
I was just going to finish with because we started to kind of hint at it, that Stefanski, with the Giants job. I know Giants fans don't want to hear it because they see the Browns and all they see on the surface is all Browns suck. But you got to realize Kevin Stefanski, like I said, 2-time coach of the year, dragged a bad Browns team to the playoffs. Like, if you give him Jackson Dart would be the best quarterback he's had since Baker Mayfield, and you give him a healthy Cam Scatterbo, you give him a healthy Malik Neighbors, which people are forgetting about. The Malik Neighbors is still there.
Right. He probably won't play week 1. He's already said that.
Yeah, he won't. Yeah, probably won't. But they're going to be at least better offensively next year than they were this year. And this year they were still in games, with Jackson Dart, to the very end. So people don't realize, you might not want Stefanski, but Stefanski can get a lot out of that. He can get a lot of mileage out of that. And all those guys are young, so you're going to give them years to grow together. It's not like he's taking over and having to mold a Baker, because Jackson Dart's a little raw, but Jackson Dart kind of has a little bit of that Baker or like that type of quarterback in him. And we've seen how Baker can turn his career around and what Baker really was capable of. Stefanski can bring that out of Jackson Dart, I think. And also
Dart is much closer to the earliest to the beginning of his NFL career. So there's a lot less in terms of bad habits to unlearn.
And the thing, the one thing that I think, Harbaugh's not an old coach, but he's got mileage on him. What is Carson Beck doing?
There's another guy who feels like he's been in college for a million years
because he has. I will quickly say too. Sorry, Brandon, but I will quickly say too. Scoop, what do you say to the fact, because we basically heard this in pressers? What do you say to the fact that Myles Garrett and the quarterback room themselves weren't happy with him? Weren't happy with Stefanski? Because I think that's really important. They weren't happy with him either.
I don't remember seeing that about Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett was in a presser basically saying, "Hey, I'm not happy with him."
Let me try and pull that. Let me try and pull that up real quick, because what I read the other day, I definitely read quote unquote neutral comments about it. But
yeah, neutral, which means I'm not happy about it. Neutral is kind of an issue, but yeah, that's kind of my thing. Is isn't happy. So this is what I read. Basically, that they've had more ups and downs in the last, however many years, and that a rebuild that he's not cut out for a rebuild. But I took those as more scathing indictments on the front office and ownership.
Yeah.
I took it as both.
I can see why, but I don't know. I guess I just interpreted it differently.
Which is fine, because it's made to be interpreted, right? So,
but here's where I was going with that. But your question was kind of two-parted. It was Myles Garrett and the quarterback room. Okay, here's the problem though. Your quarterback room sucks.
Yes.
Your quarterback room is a mixture of proven mediocrity to poor or unproven, or a quarterback with making the most guaranteed money in NFL history, who at no point during his time in Cleveland has ever been the best quarterback on your roster. So what people keep saying, what do you make of this? Here's how I look at it. You have had since the last since 2013, you've had, and this is just off the top of my head, I'm probably forgetting somebody. You have had Rob Straczynski, Mike Pettin, let me think, Freddie Kitchens, Hugh Jackson, and I'm definitely forgetting at least one. These are the coaches that you've had. You've had I don't think the most coaches of anybody in the NFL since 2013, but damn close.
It's close.
Yeah. And how many of those guys went on to get head coaching traction elsewhere in the NFL? Zippity doo dah. So the fact that you now had somebody who was a 2-time head coach of the year, somebody who, as soon as you fired, became the most desired head coaching candidate on the market by other NFL teams with vacancies until John Harbaugh became available 4 days later. So the fact that you, as Cleveland, who couldn't ass backwards find your way, luck your way into a head coaching stability over the last 30 years since you came back into the league in 1999, since during that period of time, you have just been mired in inconsistency and turmoil. Now all of a sudden you have this guy, and as soon as you let him go, everybody else is like, "Oh, let's go check out that guy." You have that guy, and you're willing to part away from him because you think that you're smart enough and that your process is good enough to find yourself towards somebody who is better than that. Where do you get the ego to believe that that is in any way a likely outcome for you? When you said that teams should fans should believe in you because of your special teams. You actually unironically said people should believe in you because of your special team success,
which isn't that good.
I will say it was pretty good, but it definitely had room to improve.
Yeah.
But now to make it even better, your first two interviews, or at least interview requests that came out since you made this happen, were Todd Monken, the OC of the Ravens, and Aiden Durde, the Seahawks defensive coordinator, and you've completed your first interview that you completed was with your own offensive coordinator, Tommy Rees, and your own defensive coordinator, Jim Schwartz. And you know why these are the names that are coming out? Because people with options don't want to go to Cleveland. People with options have no interest in getting stuck in a job that you're going to be ousted from in 2 years, and a job where being a two-time two-time head coach of the year, where you had to deal with, once again, a quarterback carousel because they needed an adult in the room, so they moved off of Baker Mayfield, who revived his career not in one place but two places, between a cup of coffee in LA and then going on to get a long-term deal in Tampa. After making that happen, so now he's revitalized his career elsewhere, and you're still trying to figure out if Shedeur Sanders or Dylan Gabriel can, and people are saying Shedeur Sanders showed a promise when he completed 57% of his passes, and when he finally got his interception or his touchdown to interception ratio to be above 1-to-1. That's your idea of showing promise.
By the way, I will say, as with Dylan Gabriel, they got better over time. Deshaun Watson will have a chance to win this job in training camp. That has come out. He will have a chance to win.
You know why he'll have a chance to get to do that? Because, pardon me. The reason why he'll have a chance to do that is because they have no other even remotely promising options. Because Shedeur Sanders. Did you guys see the video when they took Shedeur Sanders?
Nobody
was thrilled by it.
When front offices think they got their QB, when we got Carson Wentz, or when we got Jalen Hurts, or when you guys got Russell Wilson, or when you guys, different things, the front offices are usually captured on video.
Yeah.
They're fist bumping.
That's what they did with Gabriel, though. That's what they did, other than the owner.
Yeah, they're all fired up. When they drafted Shedeur Sanders, you would think that you were sitting at the Department of Motor Vehicles on a busy day.
and by the way, you know what makes it even worse for Cleveland? What makes it even worse is that Tyler Shuck actually looks really, really damn good. And they got their franchise quarterback in New Orleans.
You know what it is too? I love during the draft, and everybody was saying, "Oh, why should have fallen?" And then when the Browns finally got him, it was like they said, "Oh yeah," it was just the Browns saying, "Here, damn." Like, here, damn already. Shut up.
No, that's quite literally what it was, and it was literally because again, they had already drafted a quarterback, and they drafted
because no one else wanted him.
They drafted a quarterback that I liked better in Dylan Gabriel, and quite honestly, now we heard theoretically that Baltimore would have taken Shedeur Sanders if Cleveland didn't. We don't know that.
But they had so many options. They had so many other chances too. That's what doesn't make sense. It's like,
it's just I look at this thing. that this whole outcome, and again, I go back to what happened a couple months ago, and I genuinely believe this changed everything. They lost one of their smartest executives and one of their most, in my opinion, one of their best executives when Paul DePodesta went to the Colorado Rockies to become their head of baseball operations.
He wasn't that great in Cleveland either, was he?
Paul DePodesta?
Yeah, he didn't do much.
He was a big part of the reason that Kevin Stefanski was there. And
I mean,
he was
that's fair. I'll give you that.
And he was a big impact behind a couple of the good draft picks that they made the last few years.
Okay, I'll give you that.
And
I just think he's a baseball guy. He should be in baseball. Good that he is.
Well, I mean, we have seen a couple of guys go between different sports and have success in both. Especially because he's not technically like a football operations guy. He's more of like somebody who helps analyze and
analytical, statistical, yeah.
So, but regardless of all that, as soon as that happened, I knew, and I said it on WTS, the chances of them keeping Stefanski or the chances of them moving off of Stefanski just went way up because I knew that he was one of his foremost kind of advocates and whatever. And here's the thing. We've seen it happen all across sports. When a team gets successful, when a team starts to have, sustained positive results, what happens? These, they get hired, guys get hired away from promotions or one thing or another. Guys get more money elsewhere. Guys get either promoted or a better job title or more power or whatever. It happens. That's what business is. But typically, when guys leave, but they've had a positive impact on that organization, typically you try and keep as much of that going as possible, even without the person there. You're not going to be able to do it the exact same way, but you at least try to adhere to some of what was making you successful before. It seems like Cleveland forgets that as soon as people walk out the damn door.
Yeah, because that's what it is. Right, Brandon? I mean, that's what it is.
It always is what it is. Like, I don't think there's been another case of where that's not the case. Put it that way.
I don't know what that Yoda was, but it to me, like, they are lucky that the Jets and the Raiders and teams like them exist, and the Giants the last few years. But I think the Giants are about to make a wild turnaround. But they are lucky that other teams like that exist the last few years, because holy crap, it is difficult to get all four things right, or all three things right: the GM, the head coach, and the quarterback. But we've seen Cincinnati, the cheapest organization in freaking perhaps professional sports, find a way to do it. Even for a brief period of time, we saw them find a way to do it. We've seen, it looks now potentially like Carolina may have at least something, budding or building over there. We've seen the Giants look like they are in the most promising position that they've been in a while. We saw Buffalo, even though I haven't liked the way that they've closed out seasons, and I haven't liked the way that some of their things they're at least their fundamental structure is wildly more improved than it once was.
They're a year in, year out player of contender.
Well,
And these are teams where we don't know if we love their owners. So it's not like, it's because their owner makes all the difference, because we don't know that we love what's his name, Dave Tepper, that much more than Jimmy Haslam, or what's his name, John Mara or Steve Tisch, that much more than Jimmy Haslam. So the fact that you keep having these things, that you finally stumble into success and positive trend, and then you have the ego to believe that, oh no, we can actually do even better than that. I don't know where that comes from, and I bet you're going to not see another playoff berth for the next 5 years. I don't know who you're going to hire, but unless it's John Harbaugh or somebody we haven't even thought of yet, I don't know. I'm willing to bet your next head coach does not win 2 head coach of the year awards and does not get you 2 playoff chances and one and almost a third one with Joe Flacco as your quarterback. So Good move, dumbass.
Well. Hopefully you trade Myles Garrett if that's the case. Anything else on the coaches, Brandon? I'm sorry I've been interrupting, but I got so much to go off here.
I mean, just when I think about, oh wow, look who's at the Ole Miss game. No surprise there, Jackson Dart. But I don't know what it is. I've for the past couple days. I mean, it's the rabid nature of the area that I live in this country, where you have Jets fans who are talking about how Aaron Glenn should have been gone, and I'm like, listen, I can understand why,
but I kind of agree with that, honestly.
Yeah, I can understand why.
Give Aaron Glenn, give him next year to develop. That's all I'm saying. Just give him one more year.
Yeah. But the thing is, I can understand why, because when he's a defensive guy and your defense just made history without having a single interception.
Thank you.
Yeah,
that's like I don't feel that sorry. I mean, listen, this is the same guy that couldn't get anything out of in Detroit. For God, Detroit's defense was not good under him anyway. So I think about I feel for the Giants fans in my area, but with Giants fans, because you're getting this whole turnover now, so you're having a whole head coaching search, and you've got players returning, a lot of players returning from injury next year. You're going to get healthier. I keep going back to the Giants, and I'm like, I keep thinking about that job. To me, as much as people might not think on the surface it's attractive, it kind of is, because you've got the defensive line. You've got the quarterback. You've got the running back. You got your number one receiver. You just would have to probably so you've got at least enough there to build from. Your focus would be, if you come in there as a head coach. I mean, I'm saying you're in, because you have to have some input. Because honestly, if you let, the biggest problem is just letting Joe Shane just run this damn show, because the guy's an idiot.
Yeah, he's so bad, and the fact he's still there is amazing.
I still don't get that with the job. What is the obsession with him? He's not a good GM. Has he made a couple good picks over the years? Yeah, but that's not enough. He's made so many bad moves.
Some of those picks
in the Ole Miss game.
Some of those picks left Saquon.
Well, yeah, but yeah. And then Daniel Jones is now thriving with the Colts, being injured, but thriving with the Colts. So, I want to believe that the Giants job is attractive from a roster standpoint. But when you realize who's pulling the strings, I don't want to go there. The thing is, I can't say, I see so many Giants fans saying they want Harbaugh, right? Harbaugh. But here's the problem with that. He's gonna clash with that front office.
Oh yeah.
So like massively. So because what the Giants should have done, and what the Mara family should have done, is get rid of their butt buddy in Joe Shane. You should have got rid of him, just like you did Dable. When you made all those sweeping changes, I don't know why the one thing you kept was your idiot of a GM. So,
and not only kept him, actively said he's going to be the one he's the one spearheading the next head coach we bring in.
Oh, gross.
You already know, if you can't trust him to build that roster, you're not going to, what you're going to get as a head coach.
That's why I think what Miami did, at least ultimately did, makes at least the most sense. And I was shocked that they didn't do it that way originally.
Giants fans keep me, because like I said, it's the New York, New Jersey, tri-state area. We all have big hopes, dreams, aspirations. We're a bunch of loud people that live here. But you've also got to be realistic. I know you want Harbaugh, and I know you might not want Stefanski, but Stefanski is one of the better options out there. But I don't know if they're going to get either. I think if you get Stefanski, that's a win, because I just don't think you're going to get anywhere near Harbaugh. So and the thing is, why would Harbaugh himself want to go there when he knows he'll be under, the front office and the ownership's thumb that much? So
Carson Shears tuning in. He says he's giving us one of these.
Salute.
Carson, good to see you. Carson, hope you had a nice New Year, and hope Detroit sports are treating you well this time of year.
I'm thinking about now. I know you guys say you didn't like the Atlanta job. I don't.
No. I didn't say I don't like the Atlanta job. I said I don't like the fact that Raheem Morris was let go.
Yeah,
I don't like the Atlanta job. I think it's a mess.
But the thing is, like, I like it more than the Giants job. Because I do.
It's interesting. I don't hate it.
I'm not 100% sure. I think that they're close in my mind.
Well, you know why? Because that defense is really good. Like, just from a roster standpoint, but they're better than the Giants defensively. They have a decent O line that's better than the Giants. They've got Bijan, top 5 running back in the NFL. They've got, they might not have the best wide receiver room, but they have a decent wide receiver room. We'll see what happens next year with any changes that are made there. I mean, Kyle Pitts might leave, but Kyle Pitts showed some promise this year. I mean, he's steadily getting better each year he's been in the league, and he was actually decent this year.
He had his best. He had a career year this year.
So like, to me, like, they have some holes too they have to figure out. But I mean, Atlanta was, like I said, they were just one quarterback away from making the playoffs. So to me,
it wasn't Penix.
And it wasn't, And I was banging the table early on, saying, "Why aren't you starting Kirk Cousins? Because you should be."
And also, I think Rob was the one who mentioned earlier in the maybe it was Brandon, but someone mentioned earlier in the episode that by March that they made it so that by March 13th they are able to get out of that contract.
He's March 13th. Kirk Cousins is a free agent.
That's I'm sorry, I phrased that poorly. But so by then he'll be a free agent. But they also said though that there's a chance he stays in Atlanta on a new contract.
Yeah, so, which I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case because I think he actually really likes it there.
I think so too. But my point being there is, we're talking about the fact that they didn't start him enough this year. I'm thinking about the fact that I wouldn't be surprised if Cousins stays in Atlanta longer than Mike Penix does.
I think so too.
Because you know what the big problem was? We said it when he got drafted was Penix and Atlanta don't work. It doesn't work together. That's not a good fit, and we all knew it. And I didn't like Penix from the start anyway as a quarterback prospect. I don't know what, like, I know what other people might have saw in him. I didn't see it in him. Like, in that draft class, Bo Nix was better. Daniels was better. Like, I had Penix as like my 4th or 5th guy in that class. Like, I really didn't see it with him.
I always love the video where the GM Terry Fontenot was trying to explain to
Arthur
Blank. He was explaining himself to Arthur Blank. Because he's like, we just paid Kirk Cousins a ton of money. What are you doing? And you know what? Here's the thing with Penix. I'm actually scared for him next year because that's his 5th major injury in the last 6 years or whatever. It's unbelievable.
Like, it's like, and that was a big problem. Like, we always say that, like, listen, you can have the ability, but the best ability is availability. If you're not healthy, then you're not going to be anything. It's just
he's not going to be able to move. Is he going to be able to run?
I mean, hell, he didn't even run that much last year, this season anyway, when he was starting. So, I can't trust. I never saw it with Penix. Now, listen, you could go to somewhere else and it might work, but I was like, literally, like, why did you wait until you were basically 3-6 and your season was over to start Kirk Cousins when if you just would have made a change even a game sooner, 3-4, 3-5, you could have got to the playoffs. You could have won a division and got to the playoffs. And you just please don't choke again. We don't need that on air.
No, come on.
No, but the thing is, the only reason they made the change is because he got hurt. They weren't going to make the change if Penix was still available,
which is insane. I still think they would have made the change even if they were out of a playoff spot. I think eventually they probably would have because Atlanta's just that dumb. So, I think Atlanta would have, but it would have came even later had it not been for Penix getting hurt. So, I still think Kirk would have saw game time this year, but I can't get out of my head. Like Kirk, I mean, no, did he look great? No. Did he look better than Penix? Yeah, because it was hard to look worse than Penix did in those 9 games.
Is Kirk Cousins an NFL starter still? Yes. And
Yes.
that's what I don't understand. Before we go, can I read what Jed Fish, the UW head coach, said about the whole Williams situation?
Yeah, I just saw it, so go ahead.
It's actually kind of amazing. Over the last few days, I don't never know how to say his name. I think it's Desmond. Anyway, Desmond and I have engaged in very honest and heartfelt conversations about his present and his future. We both agree that UW is the best place for him to pursue his academic, athletic, and social development. Social development is an interesting way to phrase
what
that.
What the hell does that even mean?
I appreciate his work. I appreciate his statement. I support him, and we will continue. We will work together to begin the process of repairing relationships and regaining the trust of the Husky community. You're not regaining the trust. It's not going to happen. Unless you win a national title, that ain't going to happen. And here was our director of athletics, which, by the way, I don't really like him. I don't like any of our directors because they're all about money and it annoys me. This Patrick Chung said this. The past 48 hours.
Whoa, former Eagle Patrick Chung.
Yeah, I was just gonna say back the up right now.
Is he a former Eagle?
He is a former Eagle. Yeah.
Is that him?
Is that the same guy?
Is that the same guy?
Oh, that's what I'm looking right now.
Is it?
I don't think it's the same guy.
I'm looking right now.
That'd be a weird coincidence.
I don't think it's the same guy.
Oh no, it's Chun, Chun.
Oh, there's a Patrick Chung. I was like,
so did I. Oh, bro.
Former safety?
Yeah, Brandon's and my antenna just both went pew.
Okay. He was a great safety, by the way. Very underrated. Okay. So here's what he said. I'm not a huge fan of him, by the way. Same with a lot of our administration. I've made that pretty clear. The past 48 hours have underscored just how complex and challenging the current college athletic environment has become. What has transpired has been difficult for all parties involved and is emblematic of the many current issues we have in college sports. It is critical in this post-house revenue-sharing environment that contracts with student athletes are not only enforced but respected by everyone within the college sports ecosystem. I want to thank UW president, UW board of regrets, and Big Ten commissioner. The Big Ten commissioner was involved in this, and I didn't know, for their leadership and guidance. We will continue to support Desmond as he continues his academic and athletic career at UW. The two of the dumbest statements you ever heard in your life. I still love the fact that he's like, we will continue for him to develop his social development. Your head coach saying you have social development problems.
Yeah, what the hell was that?
That's like the most like it's like it's funny how that statement is coming out like kind of in support of him, but it's like a backhanded compliment.
It really is.
It really is. But the other part that we will work to make him. We will work for the UW community to embrace him again. The only way we'll embrace him again is if you win a national title.
That's not happening.
That's not happening.
Goodness freaking gracious.
Oh boy.
We are done with this man.
That's like
I saw that, but I wanted you to read it first because I was just like, there's no freaking way.
It's like it's one thing to come out in support of your quarterback, but like, why are you being so tone deaf about it? Why is everything around UW right now in the last week so tone deaf? Why?
It's because it's because of LSU. Because LSU wanted him. It's LSU's fault.
Everything is being tied back to Lane Kiffin. This is how much Lane Kiffin has impacted the college landscape.
It's how much he sucks.
He's literally in Louisiana and he's impacting Washington State. This is so bad.
Oh man.
Again, it's just rumors that LSU offered him, but
this is why everybody's like F Lane Kiffin, because that's what it is. Oh,
okay. Anything else, Scoop? Anything else before we go? Because This game is getting interesting now.
Yeah. We could have just ran through the backside of that, but do we want to do like very quick kind of thoughts about the kind of not even a full preview, but just kind of very quick thoughts about the games this coming weekend?
If you guys lose to the 49ers, Monday's show is going to be a problem.
Damn right it is.
You know it. That's gonna get hijacked on Monday.
Yeah, right it is.
That's my only thought.
Well,
that's all I got.
I'll say this. I'm going to keep it to one sentence, or this might be two sentences, but that's all. With the defense that San Francisco has, or more accurately, doesn't have, and the fact that the game that side of the game is being coached by Kyle, no adjustments, Shanahan. If even Kevin Patullo offense can't drop 25 on a San Francisco team like that, this team deserves to get bounced anyway.
True. You know what I'm waiting for? You know what I'm waiting for on with that game? Now they said it's going to be about 40-something degrees. It's going to be rainy and windy. You know what we're going to see when in those conditions? I guarantee we're going to see Jalen Hurts throw the ball 40 times because Kevin is a moron. So I can't.
It's in my opinion, this is the key to the game. Not one of the keys, the key to the game. If you get a lead in the first half, don't take your foot off the gas.
Don't fall asleep, please.
There are 4 quarters. Count them, Kevin. There are 4 quarters in a football game.
And let's add this. This is the playoffs. This is national TV. This is the middle game on Sunday with KB and Tom Brady at the commentary booth. You better do something.
Does KP know how to count to 4?
Oh, does Kevin Patullo know how to count to 4? I don't know.
I don't think so.
I'm not 100% sure because maybe he's got a mnemonic: run, pass.
Here's the thing. Given how, and then an occasional screen, which on an occasional screen on 2nd and 1 of all times, because you shouldn't run that there. But the best part is I don't think he actually knows how to count to 4, considering that a Madden box is 3 plays at a time. So he has 3 plays to choose from on 1st, 2nd, and 3rd down. And you know what's funny? Whenever you know
what you can do. Wait, you know what you can do in Madden? You can go back.
You know what else can do? You can hit quick pass, play action pass, screen pass, Hail Mary, shotgun pass.
If you want to do it, he doesn't know what those are. He only knows Ask Madden, and Madden's gonna tell him inside zone on 3rd and 12. And I can't wait for it. Here's the crazy thing: is it's the second downs that have been ridiculous, because he'll get stuffed on 1st down, and then the 2nd down when he's on 2nd and 12, he'll run not even a power. He'll run just halfback smash, and then it'll run into the one lineman's ass that is struggling that day. And then it's 3rd and 15. And then that's when we try play action. If they don't fear the running game, the play action is not going to work, you jackass. And then the best part is going to be on. I can't wait to get into 3rd and long, and I see Will Shipley come into the game because I already know what's going to happen. They're going to give up and play field position. Here, Will, get us 15 yards on 3rd and 12. Have fun.
Although I will say potentially San Francisco might be the one defense you can get away with that.
We can actually pick it up on. Yeah, that might be crazy.
But anyway, with that being said, we went way over. We went way over, but that was definitely a show with every moment spent well. So, guys, thank you very much.
Including me almost dying.
Yeah. Grateful you got through that show. And guys, catch the 3 of us next on Monday night on Football After Hours, presented by Millions. And I am sure that after this weekend of football, one way or another, I'm sure it'll be a good show. I don't know if it'll be a positive or a negative good show, but I'm sure it's going to make for can't miss entertainment.
Oh, for sure.
Any final
reminder to people? I have 2 teams playing this weekend. I have 2.
Oh yeah, I forgot. You got two bird teams. You got the Duckies and you got the Eagles.
And the best part about both teams is there's no offensive coordinator, so I can't wait for this to be an epic failure.
Rob doesn't, because Rob's Seahawks have the bye week.
I get to relax, except Sunday is going to be a long day. My God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Thank God we're not recording Sunday night again. Honestly, thank God. And you know what? You know what's awesome? Once we hit the divisional round, our show is going to start at like 10 p.m. Eastern.
Oh,
Which is so good. It's so good. We're going to start so early. Thank God.
Yeah, well, I mean, so Monday's what? Panthers Rams?
No, Panthers Rams is the first game.
it's
Monday,
the first game.
Monday is what is Texans Steelers.
Ew.
Texans Steelers.
Yeah.
Ew.
That game is going to set the record for the fewest first downs in history.
Oh, by the way, I want to mention that ESPN got the last pick of the wild card games.
Yeah.
So they got the worst one.
Yeah. All right. Well, I wanted to go through and do some the picks of this week. I don't think we probably don't have time for that because we're gonna sign off here, I think. But next week we'll start doing that. We'll start with the divisional round.
Yes.
So with that, for Brandon and Rob and myself, Scoop, any final words from y'all?
We're good to go, man. Enjoy the rest of the game.
All right. Enjoy the rest of the football this weekend. Excuse me. We'll see you next week. As always, same Scoop time, same Scoop channel. And we've got Brandon, Rob, and myself out.